How's everyone doing tonight? Good? Yeah, I'm doing pretty good. So, my first name is Carlin, which in Gaelic actually means little champion. Although, given my size and how my life has been going, I think my parents named me ironically. Even more ironically, little champion is what my ex-girlfriend used to call my dick. If you're groaning at that, it's not going to get any better. My last name is actually Potter. So for some reason, when people find that out and that I'm British, they feel compelled to ask me if I'm related to Harry Potter. Why, yes, of course I'm related to a fictional character who doesn't actually exist. How did you figure that one out? My full name is probably the most British name you've ever heard in your life. It's actually Carlin Giles Edward Potter. I know. The only way I could make that sound more British is if I were to get knighted so that I could add the title of Sir to it. Or maybe I could buy a square foot of land in Scotland so that I could add the title of Lord to it. Then I'd be Lord Carlin Giles Edward Potter. That makes me sound like I could either be the victim or a suspect in a murder mystery, or like something out of Game of Thrones or something. So I have an accent. My parents are originally from England, but I was born here. Growing up, I watched a lot of British sitcoms and drank copious amounts of Earl Grey, which is why I sound like a discount version of Ricky Gervais. Without the fame and fortune, of course. I did have some luck, though, as a few years before the pandemic, I managed to buy my house. Don't get me wrong, it wasn't because I worked really hard or saved up for a really long time or anything. I'm so bad with money, I thought the boo-boos would be a good long-term investment. Something to leave my non-existent kids someday. No, the only reason I was able to afford my house was because I bought it with my inheritance. So now, when people ask me how much I paid for it, I get to say it cost me 2 grandparents and an uncle. I'm just waiting for my parents to kick the bucket so I could build a bar in the basement. The best part about that is that I'll still be able to get drunk by myself at home, but still feel like I'm being silently judged by my family. It'll be just like a family reunion. So I'm single, obviously. I feel like I've tried everything. Bars, dating apps, speed dating, blind dates, dates you can still see. And nothing seems to work. Although I did manage to come up with a pickup line I thought was pretty clever though. It goes, hey, I'm looking for the CEO to my Luigi Mangione. The Charlie Kirk to my Tyler Robinson. All I want to do is make the world a better place and take you out for dinner. You laugh, but that line actually managed to get me laid. Once. So I'm turning 40 soon, and it's got me thinking about my life, and I've realized that I really want to be a dad someday. I've already got the dad bod for it. I've also got a niece and nephew, which is sort of like a demo or a beta test for being a parent. It's all the fun and joy of parenting, but none of the responsibility. Like, if they get upset or they start crying, or if they need their diaper changed, I can just hand them back to their parents and be like, not my problem. It's great. I do love being an uncle, though, and I try to spend time with my little nibblings when I can. We have a lot of fun together, and I love them dearly. But I've realized there are some downsides to spending a lot of time with kids. For example, if they have a favorite song, you're going to be forced to listen to that song a lot, whether you like it or not. And, as I discovered over the holidays, one of my niece's favorite Christmas songs is Santa Claus is Coming to Town. So, after hearing it for the 6th time in a row, I noticed that while it's a cute song about Santa, technically, it could also be about a serial killer. You wouldn't even have to change the words that much and it would still work. Especially that part in the middle where it goes, he's making a list and checking it twice. Gotta find out who's naughty or nice. Dexter Morgan's coming to town. He sees you when you're sleeping. He knows when you're awake. He knows if you've been bad or good, so be good for goodness sake, right? Like, and it works with other serial killer names too. Oh, you better watch out. You better not cry. You better not pout. I'm telling you why. Jeffrey Dahmer's coming to town. And you can be sure that if Jeffrey Dahmer is breaking into your house on Christmas Eve, he's going to be hungry for a lot more than just milk and cookies. But as much as I love being an uncle, I still really want to be a dad someday. I'd even be willing to be a single dad if I don't end up meeting the right person. The problem is, in order for me to do that, I basically have two options. Option one, I try to adopt a kid on my own. The thing is, I'm a single guy who lives alone. I'm pretty sure if I walk into an adoption agency and tell them that, it's going to set off some alarm bells pretty quick. I'm also a big fan of Star Wars, so ideally I'd like to adopt a kid named Luke. That way when we get into an argument, we could reenact scenes from Empire Strikes Back. I'd put my foot down and I'd be like, Luke, I am your father. Then he'd roll his eyes and start giving me attitude. That's not true. That's impossible. Then I'd sigh and get all exasperated and be like, search your feelings. You know it to be true. That was for the 3 Star Wars fans in the room. But as much as I love being an uncle, and I still really want to adopt adopting a kid would be worst case scenario. But could you imagine the kind of conversation I'd have to have if I did try to adopt a kid on my own? It'd be a whole big thing. They'd be like, what's that? You're a single white male who lives alone, and you want to adopt a kid named Luke so you can reenact scenes from Star Wars? No, that's not weird at all. We can definitely help you with that. We'll just need to perform a credit check, a drug test, a blood test, a background check, and send social services and the police round to your house to make sure everything is okay. Oh, and we'll also need to make sure your name doesn't appear anywhere in the Epstein files. This won't take long. Finally, there's option 2, and this is the most extreme option. I kidnap someone else's kid. But then I'd have to put up with all the screaming and the whining and the crying. I'd have to hear things like, you're not the boss of me, you're not my real dad, please just let me go free. The sort of thing a step-parent gets to hear all the time. Plus, there's the whole being a kidnapper and a wanted criminal thing, which means I'd either have to always be on the run with the kid or keep him locked up in the basement and homeschool him, which would just be a huge inconvenience and a major pain in the arse. On the bright side, though, I do kind of already have the perfect cover for it. You see, as a bit of a joke and to freak out my nosy neighbors, I named my Wi-Fi network FBI Surveillance Van. So now, all I have to do is get a black, unmarked van, park it near my house, and move it in the middle of the night every few days. As an added bonus, I could even use the van to help with the kidnapping. Oh, the irony. So, basically, my choices are to either be investigated by Child Protective Services and law enforcement to confirm my name isn't in the Epstein files, or to kidnap a kid and then actually be wanted by the cops anyway. All just because I want to be a dad and can't get a date. Not exactly ideal options. Oh, I'm available if anyone needs a babysitter. No guarantees you'll get the kid back though. Anyway, that's been my time. You guys have been great.